Hello friends, today we have recommended 5 beautiful thriller films to you. If you like our video, you can like it and write your ideas in the comments. Goodbye. Number 5. During the global pandemic, when the world comes to a complete standstill and an unprecedented world opens up for humanity, best friends Parker and Miri decide to spend the quarantine alone at their family's lake house. Thinking it was the right decision, Parker and Miri soon discover that they are not as alone as they thought. Number 4. As a 911 emergency operator, Joe Baylor is a demoted police officer. While he's out on active duty awaiting trial for a crime he committed while on active duty, he's answering emergency calls as an operator until the court makes a final decision. There are now 2 options for him: either he can go back to his duty, back to the streets where he feels he belongs, or he can go to jail. During a night shift with this dilemma, the phone rings. The woman on the other end of the line claims to have been kidnapped. Despite the stress of going to court the next day, Joe listens to her. Most importantly, he believes her. Involving his friends in the case, he starts to do his best to help the woman and her family. He does all this in an office in the operator building. The voices he hears and the evidence his friends find will show him that this is much more than a kidnapping case. Number 3. The Missing Girl tells the story of a man blamed for the sudden disappearance of his wife. On a hot summer morning in Missouri, America, Nick and Amy are preparing to celebrate their 5th wedding anniversary. But that day Amy suddenly disappears. When Amy is not heard from for a long time, the police begin to suspect Nick of the young woman's disappearance. Nick can't make sense of what happened and has no idea where Amy is. Meanwhile, the young man finds himself as a pawn in a charity operation organized by Amy's family. Nick insists that he is innocent, but he can't completely erase his suspicions. Whether Amy is still alive or not is a big mystery. Number 2. Stanton Carlisle has joined the crew of a carnival that travels from town to town. His goal is to solve the mystery of Mademoiselle Zena and her alcoholic husband Pete's mind-reading tricks. However, she has never been successful in this endeavor. But when Pete dies, Zena is forced to accept Stan as her partner. Soon Stan proves to be far more skilled at manipulating and conning people than Zena's late husband. Ambitious, Stan begins to believe that he can do the con game on his own. But when he goes into competition with Zena, he will have to face unexpected dangers. Number 1. Unable to stand her controlling and overbearing boyfriend any longer, Cecilia decides to escape in the middle of the night and get as far away from her nightmare as possible. Worried that her ex-boyfriend will find her, she decides to go into hiding and enlists the help of her sister, a childhood friend of the sisters and her daughter. But when Cecilia's troubled ex-boyfriend commits suicide and leaves her a generous portion of his vast fortune, Cecilia begins to think that his death was a hoax. When a series of eerie coincidences begin to become dangerous and threaten the lives of the people she loves, Cecilia desperately tries to prove that she is being hunted by someone no one can see. But in the process, the young woman's sanity is threatened.